What's up everyone, Rick D Workshop here. Today is our first video that I've ever posted on YouTube for woodworking. I'm definitely an amateur by far, but have a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you enjoy watching this video. So I typically will put everything in Sketchup before I go downstairs and do any type of woodworking whatsoever. So today we're gonna make a coffee mug display. My wife's niece asked her if I would do that. I don't typically do woodworking projects for anyone other than my wife because that honey-do list is way big enough. But today we're gonna make a coffee mug display for her niece. So I've already created this in SketchUp, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that looks like now. Okay, so what I did here in SketchUp is I've created these areas where the coffee mugs will be displayed. The largest coffee mug is 7 inches wide from handle to the right side of the mug. And so if you look here, the dimension from here to here is just that, 7 inches. And I've actually created these to be about, well, exactly 6 inches tall, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to create this bottom section here. And I think what I'm gonna do is just use some brad nails, some wood glue, and create just this bottom section with these verticals. And then we'll do this middle section with that bottom piece and those verticals. And we'll just keep working our way all the way up till we get to the very top. So I created a couple of dimensions here. My top and my bottom pieces are 2 foot 7 3/4, and the two middle horizontal pieces are exactly 3 feet. And I can add one more dimension here and just show you that this is actually 6 inches height, vertical pieces. Okay, so I've already printed this out from my SketchUp template here that I created, and we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna start cutting these pieces. So let's go downstairs and get started. Okay everyone, we're down here in my woodworking shop, and believe me, it is extremely small space. But take a look down here. We have 4 boards, and I bought these at Home Depot. They're just common board. They're 5.5 inches wide, which is exactly what I want. So I don't even have to rip these down to the width. I'm gonna keep them the same width. 2 of them have a slight bow, so we're gonna use those for the vertical pieces. And then these 2 here seem to be a little bit straighter. Actually, these are the straighter ones, and these are the ones with a little bit of a bow. So we're gonna use these as our vertical pieces. So we're gonna cut those now. Okay, so we're back over here now at the chop saw, and we set up a stop block 6 inches so we get the vertical pieces. So now let's go ahead and cut those. Okay, so now we've cut all our 6 inches, 6-inch pieces, and we're gonna go ahead and sand off the edges. They do get a little frayed there when you're cutting them. We did the best we can, but we're gonna go ahead and sand those down now. And I actually have a little helper with me. Okay, so here's all our 6-inch pieces right here, and we're gonna go ahead and get these sanded, and I do have a little helper here. She's gonna help me out as well. All right, here we go. So now we've cut and we've sanded all of our 6-inch pieces. We almost forgot to put our masks on, but thankfully we remembered about halfway through. So Safety first, always trying to make sure that we have our masks and our safety glasses and ear protection, especially when we're using the chop saw. So we're gonna go ahead and cut two 3-foot pieces out of these two boards here. And you can see over here, I already have my fence set up for that 3-foot piece. So let's go ahead and get started. So I already have my 3-foot pieces, and we will sand these as well. My little helper will help me in just a second. But before we do that, we're gonna cut the other 2 pieces that we need for the middle, and that's 2 foot 7 3/4. So we need to make those next, okay? Or actually, these might be the top, so we'll have to check our SketchUp video. So I'm gonna set these aside. These are our 3-footers, and we're gonna go ahead and grab the remaining pieces. This is what was left over, those 2 boards. I actually had, those 2 boards were 6 foot long, so I cut 2 3-foot pieces out of each, giving me my remaining amount here. And I already set up my stop block here at 2 foot 7 3/4. So let's go ahead and cut those now. Okay, so we cut our 3-foot pieces. We have 2 of those, and we have our 2 foot 7 3/4. We're gonna go ahead, and my little helper is gonna help me sand the edges on all of these boards. So let's go ahead and get started on that now. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed the SketchUp video off the printer, and then I went ahead and made my spacer. I cut this spacer 7 inches because, again, don't forget, the space between one vertical and the other vertical is exactly 7 inches. So I went ahead and made myself a spacer, and I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Tight Bond 2, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the end to this, and I'm going to use my brad nailer. I was thinking about using my pin nailer, but because this is so soft, but I'm worried about it not staying together all that well with the pins. So I'm going to go ahead and use my brad nailer, some glue, and we'll get these this first rung done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I think it came out pretty good. By the looks of it, I put 3 brad nails on each one, lots of glue. Not worried about it because this is going to get painted, but I did wipe it off a bit. And so now I'm thinking about how I'm going to attach this piece on, and then these 5 verticals as well. So I have to remember that I have to start from the right hand side and work my way over because it ends right about here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my verticals to this horizontal piece first, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay this in here and then attach with brad nails to these verticals on the bottom part. So let's go ahead and remove this for now. Let's set this aside, and let's go ahead and work on the next cubby area. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we have the bottom piece and we have the middle piece, and now I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to glue all these verticals on the top here, and then I'm going to sit this down, and then I'm going to brad nail all of these in, and attach the middle to the bottom. And then we'll deal with the top section after that. So let's get started. So the middle piece is now attached, and we glued that whole thing up with some brad nails. I had to be really careful not to go through. I didn't want to split the wood, so I was trying to make sure that I was right in the center. So now again, here we go with the top. The top piece is going to sit here, and then all of our verticals will go on to this horizontal piece. So I think what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to attach all my verticals to this horizontal, and then we'll attach it to the middle support. Okay, so let's get started. So now, as you can see, we have the top section. We need to glue these verticals, and we'll put the top section on. We're gonna line it up with the right edge here, and we'll glue this and brad nail that together. And then when we're finally done, we'll go ahead and put the last top piece on. Okay, so let's get started. I decided to add some clamps to this and just kind of clamp it all together. It was fine, but there were some little bit of bevels. The wood is not the greatest. It's just common board here. So I did add some clamps, mostly to the top section. I'm not worried about it bowing at all. It looks like it's pretty much laying flat on this plywood that I have here. So I think for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this dry. And once it dries, I'll take the clamps off, sand it all down, and then get ready for paint. So now with the whole thing built, it's the next day already. We've let it dry. I unclamped it all. I think it looks really good. Again, it's just common board, nothing fancy here. We weren't going for crazy fancy because we're gonna paint the entire thing, but I am gonna use my orbital sander and sand all this down next. So let's go ahead and get started. So now that we've sanded this all down, we took the operation outside because we're gonna go ahead and spray paint it. But before we do that, I'm gonna use some tack paper and just go across all these edges and make sure that I have any loose dust from sanding off of the wood. So this way here, when I go to spray paint it, it'll adhere a lot better. So let me get this done, and then we'll get right on to spray painting. Okay, so I just brought this back inside, and I really think it came out so nice. The spray paint really does a good job at still allowing those details, the wood grain and knots, to pop, and I really like the way it made it look. I think it's so cool. From a distance, it really looks nice. I can't wait to get the hooks on the back of this thing, and we're just gonna get it up on the wall and see what it looks like. All right, let's do that next. Okay, so I have these little clips, and I found some really good nails that I think are gonna work well. I wanted to make sure that they were gonna be long enough. So let's go ahead and let's flip this over and let's mount these to the back now. Okay. So I think we'll just we'll put one right over here, like so. Put one right in the middle of this. Nice. Put another one on this here. Make sure this is. Great. We'll do one more hanger on this other side. Here. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, as long as we are fairly close. I think those nails will be long enough to give this plenty of support. There you go. So I think that'll do it. Now we're just going to, we'll just hang it up on the wall and we'll throw some mugs on there and we'll see what it looks like. But I'm really excited about the way the paint job came out. I really could not be happier with the way the grain looks with the paint. I think it looks amazing. I think it really looks nice. So let's get it up on the wall. We hung it up on the wall, and yes, I did indeed check to make sure it's level, and it looks really good. And I'll tell you what, we threw some mugs in there, and we don't have anything special. But again, this isn't for us. This is for my wife's niece. She asked us to make this, and I think it really came out good. I love it. I like the knots and the way the wood grain looks with the paint. They fit good. Even we had one big mug, and we were able to put that in there as well, and it looks really, really cool. I think she's really going to like it. I was thinking that if you wanted to, you could always hang maybe a few more mugs off the bottom here as well. We figured she could definitely put those hooks on if she wanted to. So, well, hope you enjoyed this. We really had a lot of fun YouTubing this to you guys, and I know my daughter here helping me video. She did a great job, so I got to throw out some props there to her, Maddie. Good job, and thanks for watching. See you next time. If you like this video, then hit that little subscribe button, and maybe we'll make another one, okay? Enjoy.